States. She is the person, the only woman, to print an actual official authorized copy of the Declaration of Independence in 1777. So normally I have something large on the press like the Declaration of Independence or large documents like a newspaper. Today I actually have a very small document, but a very important document that I'm going to actually have you help me print. I'm going to send you home with a copy of it. So I'm going to handle the ink here because once you get this ink on anything, it doesn't actually come off. It's made from carbon black, boiled linseed oil, and pine resin. What we are printing here today is an indentured contract. You would fill this out at age 10 or 11, sign out, and for the next 7 to 10 years, the printer or the blacksmith or whatever business this is, he owns you. He's going to provide you with a place to live, 3 meals a day, 2 pairs of clothes a year, and you're going to learn a skill. In this case, this is an indentured contract and an apprenticeship for a printer. Of course, right? I'm a printing office. And so normally I have a lot of these printed up and I hand them out to people that help me print. But I ran out of them, so I'm making people help me print them. Because I don't want to pull this bar all day. So we start with the largest area of the type first. We just take these funny looking things. This is my ink roller. The ink roller hasn't been invented yet. So it's a piece of leather over a handful of wool. We nail it in place. And we just very lightly blot that ink onto the type. Just like this here. It doesn't take very much ink. All I really want to do is to coat the very surface of the type, just so that I can pick up that ink with my paper. Now, my paper, as you see, I'll have it under this wet felt here. The reason for that is my paper that I'm printing on today, just like they're using then, is 100% cotton. Now, what do we all know that we use every day that's printed on cotton paper? US currency. US currency is 85% cotton. This is 100% cotton. When you get new dollar bills, they stick together. They're very stiff, they're hard to work with. So is cotton paper. So we wet the paper at night before printing on it the next day. That allows me to get a better impression off the typeface, producing a better quality print. We fold this down here. This is called the tympan. This holds my paper in place against the type. I'm going to roll this under. Now normally if I'm printing something large, I'm going to print first half and roll it the rest of the way and print the second half. Because of the wooden construction of this press, I can't print the whole thing all at once. So I do half and half. But since I'm printing something small, I'm only going to print the one half, so I can just roll it under like that. Now here's where you come in. I'm going to have you step over there where I was. Put both hands on this wooden bar here down at the end. And you're going to lean
Put it all the way back,
until it
Alexa.
touches the press
All the
there.
way back.
All the way back. No, other way. Back, all the way,
pull.
all the way. Oh,
There you go.
perfect, just like that,
Good.
okay. You can let that go. You only have to do that 1,999 more times today. We print 2,000 sheets a day. In this case, it would be 2,000 pulls, but if I'm printing something large, like the Declaration of Independence, that's 4,000 pulls a day. Newspaper is printed once a week like that. They're about that size, double-sided. It's a lot of work to be a printer. I did the math actually. It works out to be 1 million pulls a year for your average printer on a press like this to print 600,000 sheets. You're going to work 35 to 50 years, so in your lifetime, 40 to 50 million pulls on a press like this printing. You get a good workout. So we roll this out, and then normally my paper actually sits in the form here. I haven't finished adjusting the press to print something small yet, so I'm just laying the paper onto the type. But as I lift that, the paper would normally come right off the type. We just lift this off. You can hear the pine resin in the ink.
How do we look? There you
It's a
go.
contract. I'm going to have you hold this up here for a picture. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll that up in a tube, and I'm going to send you home with that. It's going to leave it rolled up overnight. It takes about 24 hours for the ink to dry. The reason I can do that, I'll hold it up there, is if we look on the back here, you can actually run your hand across the back, you can feel the letters. I'm using raised type. It leaves an impression of the letters in the paper. The ink sits in the impression and not on the surface. That's why I can stack them to dry. That's also why I can roll them up without waiting for them to dry, and the ink won't smudge. So you just want to leave this rolled up overnight, and then in the morning you can pull this out, and you can actually fill in the blanks. Normally something like this would look like this here after it's been filled out. And then what would normally happen, once you fill out your contract, the printer, the blacksmith, the silversmith, whoever you're working for, would tear it down the middle. He'd give you one half, and he'd keep the other half. At the end of that 7 to 12 years that you're working for them, You complete your contract, he'll give you the other half. So you literally are physically completing your contract, and now you're free to go. So I'll roll this one up for you here. You can take this with you. Any questions? Yes.
How would they get that, like the print thing? Would they like change each slab or?
They do. There are all individual letters like this. And when we talk about something like my Declaration of Independence, there are 9,126 of these individual letters in this document here. It's only going to take you about 4 to 5 hours to put that together. For your time as an apprenticeship, the first 5 years, the only thing you do is set type, nothing else.
How would they get the big letters?
We have ones that are larger as well. So we cast them. What we do is we have molds, not here in the colonies, but in England. We buy all of our type and import it. They have molds. They heat up a big pot of lead so it melts, and they pour it into the mold and cast one letter. So I have small letters, I have big letters, I have really, really small letters. That's actually 3 letters. And so it varies, anywhere from about a 72 point, which is a 1-inch tall letter, all the way down to that there, which is 4 point. And we set all of that, all our newspapers, all our magazines, all our books, all by hand. Just like that, one letter at a time. We do all of that without looking at them. Too small, P's and Q's, upside down and backwards, look exactly the same. You do have to mind your P's and Q's. That's where it comes from. And so you don't stop and look at letters that would take far too long.